What is going on, guys? It's Jono, and today we're going to be talking about how you can generate social media posts automatically, but not just a couple, but like you can generate 10 or 20 or 50 or 100, however many social media posts that you want. And the best part is that it's completely 100% automated. You don't have to source the material. You don't have to write the material. You don't have to generate the images. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, let's dive in immediately. All right, so in front of me, I have a make scenario here, right? And this is actually part 1 of 2 when it comes to this whole workflow and how to automate your social media posts. Let's break into what's happening at a high level overview. So the first thing is that anytime a new spreadsheet row is being added in this particular spreadsheet, it's going to take a particular URL, right? This is a blog post. This is an article online. We're taking that and we're going to summarize that article using Perplexity AI. We're going to generate images. We're going to generate a title. We're going to generate descriptions and then post that particular summarized article onto Medium, onto Facebook, onto Instagram, LinkedIn, onto Tumblr, onto X or formerly Twitter, onto Pinterest, right? And just to kind of give you guys an overview of what that actually looks like, here's a particular LinkedIn article that we're writing. Here's a particular Facebook article that we're writing. Here's a particular Medium article that we're writing, right? So all of this is happening automatically. Now, if you're thinking, well, man, I don't want to spend the time to actually generate these particular links, that is where the second workflow comes in, because in the second workflow, what we're going to do is we're going to automatically find articles or blogs online, right? And how we do that is we have RSS feeds that we're going through, right? So think about big news sites, maybe like CNN or whatever, right? For example, we're going through their RSS feed and then we're finding particular blog posts or articles, and then we're pushing those articles into this particular spreadsheet. And once they're added, then it's going to trigger the second workflow so that we can automatically summarize that and post that summarized version of the article on all these 7 different platforms. And we're doing this at a daily interval so that we're only publishing once a day. You can change this to whatever interval frequency you want. Maybe you want to publish once every 4 hours or so on and so forth, but the option is yours. Now, before we proceed onwards, guys, just take a look at this section down here where it says more. You can actually import this exact workflow for free in the description below. Both part 1 and part 2 are going to be in the description, and you can grab these 100% for free down below, and you can start using this in a matter of minutes. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually be walking through how these 2 scenarios work in make.com so that when you implement them into make.com and start using them yourself, you know exactly what's going on and how to use them. So let's dive into it. So what we have here is we have a Google Sheet, right? And it's probably the simplest Google Sheet you'll ever see in your entire life. But here it is. It's just one column essentially, and it's just a list of different URLs, right? So we're just grabbing these URLs and then we're going to generate social media posts out of this. So we're going to talk about how we generate the posts first, and then we're going to talk about how we can automatically grab these URLs from websites that you actually want to generate content off of. So coming back in here, we have this list and we're going to watch for a new row. So anytime there's a new row added, so anytime there's a URL that's added to the sheet, what we're going to do is we are going to use Perplexity AI and we're going to summarize the article. So what Perplexity is going to do here is it's going to take that URL and it's actually going to go into the particular website. It's going to scan the website and then it's going to summarize it for us. Now, typically what most people might want to do is stick to ChatGPT. That's typically the most popular AI out there. But the reason why we're using Perplexity in this particular module is because ChatGPT cannot actually go to a website and read that website and summarize it. It doesn't have access to the web as of the date of this recording, but you can use Perplexity to actually summarize an article on the web. And then once we summarize that article, what we're going to want to do is we want to generate an image. And maybe you want to generate a carousel of images because maybe you want to publish multiple images on certain social media platforms. So you can go ahead and do that. And if you do want to do that, you just create multiple different modules here. In this module, it is using ChatGPT, and we're using specifically DALL-E 3 to generate an image for us. So if we kind of look at what this looks like, if we come into data here, go into one, and we go into this URL, I'm just actually going to pull this up. This is what the image is that it generated for us, right? So pretty cool to see that this image actually was created by artificial intelligence. Now let's take a look at the prompt here. It's pretty simple. Just generate a blog post based on the content of the summarization that we got from Perplexity in the module before. But we're just saying, make sure the image is clear, captures the reader's attention, and is realistic. Please do not include words, numbers, and any digits in the image. So you can see here, it kind of violated that rule by having Google AI. And the reason why we try and avoid that, or you probably want to avoid that, at least at the date of this recording, is because you can see that it misspells the word. So it's trying to create a word, but it, for whatever reason, it just can't put the words together yet. The model isn't good enough to be able to really semantically understand the words that it should be using in the particular image. So as of right now, you want to avoid words or numbers or anything like that in your particular images. And then what we're doing as a step 2 is we're just generating a title here, right? So we want to make sure that we grab, from the summarization in Perplexity, once again, we're pulling all of the information from Perplexity, by the way, but we just want to make sure that we generate a title for that particular blog post. So in this case, it says AI search showdown Google overviews versus search GPT, right? So that's pretty cool. So far we've summarized the article, we've generated an image, we've also generated a title for it, and this is where the real magic happens. We have a router module, and we have 7 different paths that we're going to go down. Now, it's up to your discretion, guys. You can have all 7 paths if you want to post to all different social media platforms. You can just have a couple. Really, the choice is yours, but I put all of them in here so that you guys can pick and choose what you want to do. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to generate an article on medium.com. So I'm just actually going to take a look at what that looks like here. So the AI search engine revolution, Google versus OpenAI. So you can see the picture here, and then it actually gives us a beautiful article that's already pre-written. So that's pretty cool. And how it's being pre-written is by this prompt here. So we're actually generating the whole article based on this one ChatGPT prompt here. And you'll notice that these prompts, if I just kind of come down here, there's a common theme between these prompts at every single stage. They're going to be quite similar, but the prompts are going to be narrowing in on the particular social media platform that you're using so that you can get the best return back. So in this case for Medium, we're just saying you're a content creator and you're writing a Medium blog post, and then it just gives specific parameters that it should focus on to make sure the blog post gives the best content possible. And we're just adding a couple more assistants in here, right? And the first assistant is we need this blog post to be HTML, and we want to make sure that it's taking that image that we generated in the previous step, and we're including that in the blog post itself, so you can see that it's coming up right here. So that's pretty cool, right? So it's actually dynamically taking that image and it's inserting it into an HTML image tag so that it can be rendered on the screen here. And there's nothing that I had to do to actually get that other than just tell ChatGPT to add that into the HTML. And then one last assistant here, and this is going to be very similar between all of the different ChatGPT modules here, but it's just making sure that not to include any information or text outside of the post, because a lot of the times what will happen is it'll be like, you know, right before it actually generates the blog post, it'll be like, sure, here's an excellent blog post for Medium. And you're like, please do not include that. I don't want that to be included in my blog post, because when somebody reads it, obviously they're going to be like, what the hell is going on here? It said, sure, here's an excellent Medium blog post, and then you just look absolutely foolish. So you just want to make sure that it doesn't add additional context before or after, like a conclusion or an intro. You also want to make sure it doesn't add any custom parameters like your name, for example, or for example, link goes here. It might say like insert your link here, and then but it doesn't provide the actual link. It just tells you to insert the link. So you want to avoid all of that confusion, because obviously that's not going to reflect good on you, right? And just make sure everything's polished and it's ready to be published, right? And as soon as we do that, we generate the Medium blog post. So we're just adding in the content format, HTML, the title, the content, and then also the publish status is set to public. Now, there is one magical component here, which is amazing. And we have this set variable here. So what's going on is that traditionally in make.com, when you're going down all these different paths, when you can't access information from any of the previous paths. So what happens is we start at the top, we go down path 1, then path 2, then path 3, then path 4, and so on and so forth, right? But if you're going down path 2 here and creating that Facebook post, you can't access anything in path 1. But with the set variable, what this allows us to do is it sets the particular URL from this so that we can use that URL for this make post. So we're just copying this URL here, and it allows us to fetch that in all of the preceding paths so that we can use that URL and dynamically insert it into all of the other social media posts, so that when we direct people to an external URL, we're directing them to a blog post that we created. Right? So that's pretty cool. Now you can have this blog post in Medium, you can have this blog post on your website, wherever you want it to be, but we're just using Medium as an example here. And then the next step is Facebook. So we're generating a Facebook post. Very similarly, we're just giving it some simple prompts, making sure there's no HTML or markdown language or anything else. And we're just making sure that it creates a post that's going to be really engaging, right? So that we can maximize our likes and our comments and our sharing and all that kind of stuff. And then we're just gonna, at the bottom here, provide it with some examples of, hashtags, and then make sure to include that post URL so it links back to Medium. And then of course we have a brief summary of the article you'll need to turn into this Facebook post. And sorry about that, I actually just edited this, so that should be Facebook, not Twitter. Okay, cool. So there we go. There we have it. And this is what the actual post looks like. And you can actually see the Medium link down here, which brings us back to the particular post that we just created in Medium. So that's pretty cool. Awesome. Same kind of assistant here, just making sure there's no custom variables and all that kind of stuff. Okay, sweet. Same thing with Instagram as well. So we have the ChatGPT option here, and we're just creating a nice social media post, and we're also including any relevant hashtags down below as well. And then we're connecting that straight into Instagram, and we're just providing the photo URL, right? So that we can have an image that we're uploading straight into Instagram, and then the caption as well, which is dynamically generated using artificial intelligence. So that's freaking cool as well, right? Images generated by AI, and the caption is generated by AI as well. The next thing is we're generating a LinkedIn post. We can take a look at what that LinkedIn post looks like here. So we have a nice little description, and then we also have the image down below. So that's pretty cool. And how we're doing this is we're first getting the post URL from Medium, right? So that we have a link over to our Medium article up here, straight in that LinkedIn post. And then we're generating a post using ChatGPT, right? So we're writing a LinkedIn post summarizing the key points of the article, and we're highlighting the important details and providing context as to why this topic matters. And then we're just briefly, once again, summarizing the article that we found online. And then we're just making sure that there's no markup or HTML or any of that kind of stuff in the particular post. And then what we're doing here is we're actually generating a new image. And the reason why we're generating a new image here for LinkedIn is because we cannot insert in a link, or URL link here. We have to insert a file, right? And when you generate these images using DALL-E 3, you actually have to make the decision between whether or not you want to have that file format be a URL or an image file. And in this case, every other platform can accept a URL except for LinkedIn, which can only accept a file upload. So we had to regenerate the image here and attach it in this file upload here. And then we're essentially good to go. We have the title, we have the content, all of that kind of stuff from the previous AI prompts we did. So we have the results here for the LinkedIn post, and then we generated that title on this module right here, and we're sticking that into the LinkedIn post. So that is the LinkedIn portion completed. And then we're going to Tumblr, same thing. We're just grabbing that post URL from from Medium so that in our particular Tumblr post as well, we can make sure to link back to our Medium article. We'll take a look at what that looks like in Tumblr. So we have our post here, and then we also have our article here. So we'll just copy and paste this in. Links back very nicely, once again, to a particular site that you want to direct traffic towards, which is super cool. And yeah, we're just generating the actual description for the Tumblr post here, very similarly to what we did in the past as well. And then same thing with X, or formerly Twitter. We're generating a tweet from OpenAI's ChatGPT, and we're just making sure that it sticks within the 280 character limit so that the tweet doesn't get cut off, right? So that's really important, is just sticking within the parameters of the particular social media platform. And then lastly, we have Pinterest here, where we generated a pin board where we once again link back to Medium, and we have a pin that we generated automatically using artificial intelligence. And we're just entering in, once again, we're creating another description using artificial intelligence directed specifically at Pinterest to maximize the likes, comments, all that kind of stuff on Pinterest. Okay, sweet. So that is part one of this course on how you can automatically generate social media posts, however many you want in a particular day. Now let's dive into how we can actually generate these posts on autopilot, right? So effectively, we have a spreadsheet right now, right? And this spreadsheet, we could go into particular blog posts and we could copy them and paste them, but that's just going to take a long time, right? And if you want to get something a bit faster, maybe you don't want to have to think creatively on, where you want to find all these blog posts. So there's actually an easier way to do this, and we can automate this process of actually collecting all of the links. And that is the second part of this scenario here, right? So in this scenario, what we need to do is, it's a 5-step sequence. We start off with JSON, right? And in this JSON, it's a very simple data type. If I just come in and show you what this looks like, there's an array. And what an array is it's just a list, right? And we're giving it multiple RSS feeds so that we can go through each RSS feed one after another and find different articles that we can then push into that particular spreadsheet, right? So we're going to go through this RSS feed here, and I'm just going to pull this up here. And this may look like gibberish to you if you're not familiar with code, but it's going to go through and find particular articles, right, that we can essentially use. So we have this particular link here. Let's just pull this up, right? So it's going to take this particular article here, right? Or whatever it's going to find in that RSS feed. And we're going to go through each one of these RSS feeds one at a time, and then post all the articles that we find into this particular spreadsheet, which then can automatically post those different social media posts onto all the different platforms. So that's pretty cool. So you can add as many RSS feeds as you want here. It's really up to your taste and up to your limit. But the more RSS feeds you have here, the more content that you're going to be able to utilize, right? So that's pretty cool. And what we're going to do with those different feeds is we're going to parse that information. So if you take a look, we're generating JSON here, and this isn't super user friendly with make.com. Right? So what we need to do is parse it to make it readable for make.com to be able to use that particular information. So with the parsing module, what we're going to do is we're going to create a list. And an array, by the way, is just a fancy way of saying a list. So we're going to have a list of different RSS feeds, and then we're going to use the iterator function to go through those lists one at a time. So we're going to start with this list, and we're going to find articles there. And then once that's exhausted, then we're going to go through the next list, and we're going to find all the articles there. And we're going to go through as many lists as you put in module 1 so that we can, maximize the amount of content that we have here. And as we go through all of those lists, what we're going to do is we're going to retrieve the information from that RSS feed. Oh my gosh, I can never pronounce that properly. But we're going to go through, and we're going through both those lists. We're retrieving multiple articles, and you can have the maximum number of returned items down here. You could have 10, 20, however many you want. Just make sure that, you put a reasonable amount so that you're not cycling through the same article multiple times. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of those articles and we're going to put the URL into the links column in the spreadsheet. And if we were to simply run this one time, you can see that we just generated a ton of extra links here. And then those links could then automatically feed into this workflow and then start generating content pretty much immediately. So that is essentially how you can automate the process of posting on 7 different social media platforms instantaneously. How you can automate that, whether it's 10 posts a day, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000, 2 million, whatever, 5 billion, probably not that many, but you can automate the process of posting quality content on your different social media platforms and streamline the whole process. How you don't even have to find the articles, right? You can use an RSS feed to find those articles for you, and then you can create unique content off of the articles that you're finding. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to please give me the thumbs up or give me a thumbs up down below. And also make sure to subscribe for my channel just for similar content just like this. And also guys, if you have ideas on what you'd like me to cover in future videos, please leave your ideas in the comment section down below. Thank you once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.